Hey y'all, I'm here with a book review, and if you didn't notice, I am actually wearing the same thing I was wearing in the last video, and that's because I am trying to get as many book reviews done as I possibly can on my day off. So, here we go. I am reviewing Running with Scissors by Augusten Burroughs. This is an autobiography, but to be quite honest, when you read it, it seems more like a fictional novel just because it's so kind of bizarre, I would say. I thought this would be a 5 out of 5 for me when I heard what it was about, but then I actually started reading it. It's not a 5 out of 5. I would say it's like a 3.5 out of 5. The concept is very interesting, but it's kind of just a book, a good read. It is about Augusten. His mother is crazy. She's really psychotic, and his father leaves, so he's left with his mother, obviously. She puts a lot of trust into her therapist and her therapist's family, and basically gives her therapist guardianship over Augusten. Now, her therapist is also extremely crazy. In their house, it's filthy, and they have like a Victorian home, and that home is filthy. They do crazy things there. For example, I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics because I hate spoilers, but for example, they leave the Christmas tree up year around. They'll play with the little electrode type tester type, the machines, they play with the electrodes on them. And what's some of the crazy things they do? Oh, there is one time where Augusten and one of the girls that lives in the house, they decide to make a skylight in the kitchen, so they destroy the roof. And the whole time, the therapist doesn't care, because he's also crazy. With this book, I feel like there is a lot of hype about it that I don't really understand. I think the biggest hype about this book, why it became such a big deal, is just because Augusten's story is true. He really went through this. And when you read it, it just seems like such a bizarre way to grow up. Basically, it seems, when I was reading it, it seemed as if Augusten pretty much raised himself. Half the time he was looking after his mother, and the other half he was looking after his best friend that he finds within the house. Another thing that kind of complicates this book a little bit is Augusten is actually gay. So, I don't know if it was supposed to be obvious. I didn't realize he was gay until he started having a relationship with someone in the book. Again, I'm not going to actually... Hold on. It might say on the back of it, so I can just tell you guys. Well, no, it doesn't exactly say, but I'll just say he ends up having a relationship with the therapist's, or the doctor, they call him the doctor, with the doctor's adopted son, and the adopted son is in his late 20s. He is also gay, and him and Augusten have a relationship, and the relationship starts when Augusten is 14. Now, I digress, because the relationship that Augusten and this man have is not a very big thing in the book. It's kind of, it's a thing, but it's not a huge thing in the book. My dogs. So, I would say that, I expected a lot out of this book. I expected to be flabbergasted at this book. I feel like the way it was written, it's not meant to shock you. It's just meant to kind of tell you it's there, enjoy it. I don't know, this might sound kind of, weird. I don't know if it's just because I've been around a lot of crazy people in my life, but it seems like the meltdowns the people in this book go through aren't that bizarre when I really think about it. The things they do are bizarre. Trust me, the things they do are very bizarre. Another bizarre thing is something you will find out about Augusten's mother about halfway through the book. You kind of find out, and you're like, that explains a few things. It has nothing to do with her psychosis. It has something to do with her personal life that I'm not going to mention because that's a spoiler. I'm finding that doing book reviews for me are kind of difficult just because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't like to give away anything in a book, even if it's considered small, just because I feel like that ruins the book. I like synopsises to be extremely vague, but I will say that I thought this would be a coming of age story, and it is a coming of age story. I just feel like I don't know what I was expecting, really. I think I thought it was be more funny than it actually was. It seemed like Augusten was trying, I'm talking about the author now, Augusten Burroughs. It seems like he was trying to be extremely funny and hilarious, but really didn't really come off as extremely funny or hilarious. It was a good book just about a child being raised kind of oddly, but it wasn't a hilarious book. At times I actually thought it was kind of disgusting, the things that he talks about in this book, which, you know, I love disgusting, but kind of disgusting. So just a forewarning if you are kind of squeamish when it comes to vulgarity, if you're kind of squeamish when it comes to sexual advances, especially because I will be a spoiler right now. There are sexual scenes in this book that happen between a grown man, I'm talking in his 30s, and I've already said this, they have a relationship. There are sex scenes that happen between the grown man and Augusten. They're kind of vague, but they're still in there. So I'm just saying, if you are very, very squeamish when it comes to that type of thing, don't read this book or skip over when it gets to that point, because Augusten Burroughs is very blunt with everything. He's going to tell you how it is, and he's going to tell you every detail. Which is actually something I did like about this book. I like that how... My phone's dying again. I like how blunt he was in this book. I like that he's just straightforward. You know, this is what it is, and that's how it's going to be. I don't doubt that he is actually telling the truth in this book. There are some autobiographies that you'll read, and some of the things you'll read in them, you're kind of like, did that really happen? But everything is so out of this box right here that it's easy. It's, you know, it's believable, everything he says. So, you know, if I would recommend this book for someone, I would recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend to go buy it right now. I would say if you know someone who owns it, borrow it and read it. If you see it in the thrift store, pick it up, but you're not going to be in love with this book. So, it's kind of... I mean, I don't mean to be kind of like, you know, like, about this book. It was a good book. It takes a lot to impress me with the book, and this just didn't. It almost got there. If there had been, like, a little more of something, it would have been there. But, like I said, 3.5 out of 5. If you like kind of quirky, funny, kind of disgusting books, this is the one for you. So, I will see you in the next book review, guys. Bye.